In the middle of Siberia, surrounded by the endless taiga, the city of Tomsk stands by the river Tom. A city of 500,000 residents, a city of youthful people, a city of students. A center for information technology and computer science. For centuries in the old Russia, Tomsk, formerly capital of Siberia, had the only university outside St. Petersburg where people could study medicine. This university in Tomsk is Siberia's oldest. The most beautiful wooden houses are found here too, pure works of art. All of this began with a fort in the 16th century, which the Tsar had built to defend the first fur traders who dared penetrate to the riches of the taiga. Still today, tremendous treasures remain which are not yet exploited. Recently, here in this somewhat decaying, quiet little city, the first Western modeling agency was founded. Siberian beauties are being sought here, though only for Western markets, for the world's leading capitals in style. This building houses a tiny office where the agency, called ESKIMO, moved in. The investors are young people from Western Europe. The staff are young women from Tomsk, model scouts with no competition, since no other agency has yet managed to establish itself anywhere in Siberia. The firm has been directed for the last 2 years by Masha and Lena.
Нет, не 1,74 метр 73,5. Она у меня утром была 1,74. Утром, сейчас
позвоночник растягивается, сокращается в зависимости.
Я знаю. Ну давайте напишем 1,73,5. Да. Сейчас мы твои фотографии первые что проверим.
Getting passed on from here to the west is like a big-time win in the lottery.
Many girls abroad in other countries, they dream about modeling, and for them it's very natural to be involved in modeling. They are surrounded by this fashion world. Here, it is not the case. And from the very beginning, it's very difficult for the girl to believe that she can belong to this world. And then she has to believe that she can be not just one of many models abroad, but she can come to the top in this business.
A search goes on everywhere for the supermodels of the future, out in the streets and inside every school. The scouts were greeted with mistrust to start with, and usually were just thrown out. Nowadays, all doors are open to them. Marina is the youngest one about to travel to the west. 16 years old, she's in the 10th grade. She applied to ESKIMO by herself. Recently, she was passed on to the famous Parisian agency IMG, an agency representing superstars worldwide.
Как вы считаете, она красивая девушка?
Ну, я считаю, что да.
Она вам нравится?
Ну да, конечно.
Всем нравится Марина?
Конечно. Мы ее просто обожаем.
Вы просто обожаете? А вам нравится она, потому что она очень красивая, или она еще интересная?
Интересный характер, красивый.
Конечно, внутреннее качество тоже довольно красивое.
А какие? Какие из них вам
Ну, об
нравятся?
этом можно говорить бесконечно. Я буду разыгрывать. Оригинальность. Душа компании.
Я думаю, что здесь есть и свои большие плюсы, и свои большие минусы. Как в любом деле большом. Наверняка есть теневая какая-то сторона, не очень приятная, верно? Не все же прозрачно. Но главное, чтобы девочкам судьбу не сломали. Вот Марина, она чем мне нравится, к ее обаянию еще добавляется и ум. Она очень развитая девочка. Она достаточно цельная натура, ее уже с пути сбить будет.
Marina has never left her hometown before. Now, in the coming summer vacation, she will go to Paris for 2 months.
Ну, я жду, что у меня, во-первых, появится хороший бук, а во-вторых, что будет удачная поездка это в плане работы. Нет, не боюсь. Единственная проблема, что с английским, что я плохо понимаю на слух. Я просто знаю, что я буду скучать по своим друзьям, которые здесь будут отдыхать, встречаться. Там, в принципе, тоже можно найти друзей, но все равно надо же всегда с кем-то делиться.
Already Marina has to give up things. Instead of running around with her friends, she has to learn English. An adventure with Galina Ivanovna, professor of English literature.
All right, you will go to Paris. I have never been to Paris. Will you say me about some sentences? What is Paris? Will you say me in some sentences what is Paris? Well, remember that Hemingway called Paris a movable feast. Hemingway назвал Париж праздник, который всегда с тобой. A movable feast. What can you tell about Paris? I suppose you are crazy about it, yeah.
Paris is beautiful city.
Yeah.
Because it has many places of interesting.
Сначала. At first.
At first.
Прежде всего.
At the first.
First of all. Впервые.
On the first time.
For the first time. Marina, you are a lazy bone. You are a lazy bone. But I must admit, Marina is a very good girl. She is very communicative, very welcoming. Yeah. Now she is how to say it. She's a good mixer. Yeah. She's a good mixer. Well, but she's a bit lazy. No, she's a bit lazy. Well, no, you know that living in Siberia, it is difficult to study the languages, and she studies German, by the by. Now we make her study English. Well, I suppose she will do right in Paris. I suppose the people in Paris will not be disappointed. She will make a good impression. I don't know about her career, but it is wonderful to be in Paris at least. What French dishes do you like?
I like
Cheese, I suppose. Roquefort, yeah. Cheese, yeah. And what about French wine? I have never tasted French wine. What about French wine? Well, it's great.
It's great.
It's great.
But I.
У вас потекут слюнки, скажи мне. It will make your mouth water. Well, I don't know French wine. I'm crazy about cognac. Well, I'm crazy about cognac.
I don't drink.
I don't drink. Oh, it's very clever of you. By the by, when are you going?
London. This style capital is one of the most important centres for all the world's models, and the annual Fashion Week is about to take place in the city.
How long are you in England for? For a month.
Ira has already achieved professional success. 2 years older than Marina, she was one of the first to be discovered by Eskimo 2 years ago at a school in Tomsk. In the meantime, she's been everywhere in the world and gained experience in the modelling business. Her first trip to the West took her straight from the school desk to London, and it was in fact the first trip in her whole life.
I don't remember nothing, but I still have some picture from my first day in London. It's in my travel card right now. Like this, I was took it this picture from the agency, and I still keep it. Well, first time I was like so afraid about everything because I was like new, everything was new for me. And right now I'm like a professional.
Models One is among the biggest agencies in England. Ira is still known here from when she started out.
I think modelling is very difficult in the beginning, especially if you are stronger looking, more striking looking than, say, the girls that pick up the catalogues and the more commercial girls. I think it is difficult in the beginning to kind of get to the level where you become well known and used all the time in the kind of current hit magazines. I think somebody like Ira, it needed the right person to pick up on her It takes time to get people to believe in that beauty, and it also takes time to nurture that beauty out of these girls. Sometimes they have it, you know it, they've got it, it's all there in place. But one person, one photographer can actually really bring it out and portray it in the way that you want to have it portrayed. It takes time, it's not easy. You've got to keep on knocking on those doors, and you've got to keep on getting her in, and keep on getting her tested, and keep on mentioning her name to the editors and the stylists and the, you know, the people that count, that make these girls.
Hi, I'm Ira. Nice to meet you.
Where are you from?
From Siberia. But I was here first time 2 years ago.
Are you in Japan?
Yeah, I've been in Japan.
Is that your hair?
That was quick. No.
Adam, you want to see this book? It's cool. Do you like this sort of makeup? Changed loads. Yeah, I love her face there as well.
In Tomsk, a new administration of finance is being built. Ira's mother currently has a job here as a construction worker.
Очень боялась. Ей было тогда только исполнилось 16 лет, буквально она была в Москве 1 мая, она по поездке в Лондон. Ей 16 лет исполнилось тогда. Я не знала, это обман, не обман, правда, неправда, потому что очень много же обманов. Вот так увозят девушек, и они там в борделях у них работают. Всякое бывает.
Together, Ira's parents earn around €200 monthly. Her father works as an automobile mechanic in the Tomsk bus garage. Both were very surprised at the time, because they never found Ira especially pretty, and her father was deeply worried.
Боязно было, конечно, отпускать одну, тем более ее. Но нас уверили, что все будет окей. А как она поездила в Лондон, во Францию, в Америку, а сейчас в Японию поехала, я уже спокоен. Думаю, что все будет окей.
Очень довольна, что хоть мир посмотрит. Потому что, сами знаете, у нас в России люди живут нехорошо, нехватка денег, не вовремя дают зарплату. И поэтому за свой счет съездить очень тяжело за границу.
What about tomorrow? What I'll do is, you're doing a test in the morning, and then there's some showcases as well.
And who's the photographer?
Burnt off.
Ira now has a 10-hour workday in London. Even though she was already booked for a series of shows on account of Fashion Week, castings continue non-stop to the last minute. She travels back and forth across London, and every minute of her own is precious. It's a rare moment when she can meet her girlfriend Daria once, another model from Siberia, to chat about home.
Вот у меня лично соседка есть, она женщина, она вечно вот говорит за спиной у меня такая: ой, да куда ее взяли модель? Она такая толстая, такая худая, страшнющая, длиннющая, мол, того. Моя Светка такая пухленькая, низенькая, грудь такая, попка такая, коса ниже пят. Вот ей быть модель, но не этой, худющей, длиннющей, страшнющей.
Siberian Airlines from Moscow has arrived at Tomsk after a 2-hour delay. Now the time has come for Marina, the youngest girl. Her father and grandmother have brought her to the airport, while her mother had to work. Her first flight, a departure into the foreign world. First, she has to fly to Moscow to fetch her visa, 4,000 kilometers direct by air over the endless distances of Russia, just for a single stamp. The mixed excitement of the last several days is still alive within her. Masha is accompanying her, Masha from ESKIMO, who takes care of formalities for the young girls. Here Marina feels as though she was already in an entirely foreign country. It's her first visit to Moscow. She has not even known the capital of her homeland, Russia, till now, when she will actually be continuing right away to Paris. However, this is no time for sightseeing at the moment, because they have to head for the French embassy.
Each time it depends, like 2-3 hours minimum in line, and then like it depends 4-5 hours in the embassy. And with some embassies, like to get visa to London, it takes 1 day. To stay in line, then to wait for an interview, like the whole day is spent at the embassy.
Previously, it was impossible to get out of Russia. Nowadays, it is difficult to get into other countries. Even models are subject to political diplomacy. Today, Marina is lucky.
Yes, we did it. Завтра летим в Париж. Да, летим.
Un gamin de Paris, c'est tout un poème dans aucun pays. Il n'y a le même car c'est un titique, petit gars des gothiques que l'on aime. Un gamin de Paris, c'est le doux mélange d'un ciel franchi du diable.
Marina's first agency is ideally situated in the city. Her new boss, and thus also her substitute mother, is the American Jenny Rose, who is taking the first Polaroids of Marina. The business people seeking just the right girl for their products usually want to start by seeing the girls' faces without makeup.
Perfect. Perfect. Good. So now I make one paper with a bunch of pictures, and we send them by email to many people. We send the pictures by the internet to many clients. So photographers, everyone.
Photos in internet.
It's good. It's good.
Already on the first day, Marina has a full schedule.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, it's like when you see a girl like that in pictures, you know in person that she has to be beautiful. I think she's going to do really well. I mean, there's a million beautiful girls in this business, but there's not a million really nice, really interesting girls. That's few and far between. That's why some girls become famous models and other girls don't.
After the first photo shoot, Marina is being dressed again.
Okay.
Like an adult?
You look like an adult.
Woman.
Woman.
We're going to get the girls all dressed so they look good on their castings. The problem is you never know who likes what, you know? Sometimes they like red, and sometimes they like blue, and sometimes they like different colors, so you have to try, you have to have a big selection. We have a little bit of everything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a happy moment when they can select a little clothes?
It's like Christmas.
Yes.
So we'll put that on her account. When she works, she'll pay it back. But it really helps the girls to start to work quickly because they look current when they go on their casting. They look hip.
It's a casting. It's a casting. Casting for Petra magazine.
Which magazine?
Okay? Petra. Okay? So let me show you though. You take bus 81, which you get downstairs. I showed them. You get off at Trinity, and then the Rue Pigalle is just right here. Okay?
Знаешь,
Все поняла? Мы сейчас вместе туда? Надеюсь.
Да. Hi.
And you buy a
An unbreakable rule. Models never live alone. Marina lives with Irina, a Russian 2 years older from the Estonian city of Tallinn. Irina has already lived in Paris a while and helps Marina.
When did you get to Paris?
Can you repeat, please? I don't understand.
Okay. You came to Paris when? When did you arrive in Paris? You came from Russia when? Yesterday? The day before?
I invited in Paris
When?
4 days
Okay.
ago.
Okay. You will learn more English being here than French.
Pour que dans l'avenir je devienne quelqu'un, il faut saisir sa chance quand il passe. Dan, 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 dan. Il faut saisir sa chance quand il vient. Quand il vient.
Так дешево?
Да.
Пробуем.
Что еще будешь?
Молоко.
They get 76 euros per week from the agency.
На кушать хватает. Мне на йогурты. Это главное. Да нет, нормально. Денег хватает. Только когда покупаешь еще и карточку, тогда денег не хватает. Тогда только на кушать. Ну там всегда же вдруг неожиданно что-то охота покушать.
The agency let Marina have an apartment to use that is under the roof of a hotel. The rent is entered in the account of the girls' debts. They learn independence and discipline fast here. Anyone going to parties often or getting caught with alcohol will be sent home straight away.
I have to take care of her. How? Because she's too little to stay alone here.
Translate, please.
Я твоя вторая мама. I have to wake up her. Her alarm clock doesn't work very good, or sometimes she doesn't hear it. Then we walk a lot. We wanted to go to see Paris together because it's interesting.
Здесь лучше в том смысле, что новые люди, новые места. Это ну, все новое, когда что-то новое происходит, всегда интересно. А так, ну хорошо, вот так месяц-два пожить, а так. А потом в своем городе лучше, да?
Olga from Novosibirsk is also 16 years old and has built up a career in a very short time. She's a natural talent, but by being 1 meter 83, she is nearly too tall, bordering on the uppermost limit. Even though Olga has only been here a few months, she has already worked with top photographers.
You work with Sarah King, or?
Sorry?
You work with
Sarah Moon.
Sarah Moon?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Almost 17.
Almost 17.
Photographers such as Sarah Moon, Koto Bolofo and Stephen Meisel demand Olga's type. Nevertheless, even she has to let herself be examined 5 to 15 times a day by the most varied people. This means again and again castings, metro, castings, castings, metro, perhaps without ever being taken. Every model has to learn to get over rejections.
Yes, you're gonna see her. 2 minutes.
Я вообще такой человек, я живу как бы одним днем и не думаю вот про то, что будет потом. Ну, как бы это не очень тоже хорошо сильно, но это и неплохо. Поэтому я вообще оптимистически к этому отношусь. Если там где-то что-то не дадут, то в другой раз получится. То есть я как бы сильно не переживаю. Потому что если каждый раз переживать на эту тему, то здесь вообще невозможно тогда, потому что много так получается. То есть часто.
While there are 3,000 models in Paris, only 300 of them have work regularly. Olga lives together with Jessica from Minnesota. They're friends and often go together to castings, but otherwise they're quite different.
I like everything. I like people. I like shooting. I like casting. I like everything.
You like the castings?
Yeah, sometimes.
I hate the castings.
You
hate it? Why?
Most of the
Because I spend all day on the metro. I don't get to see Paris, you know what I mean? It's like, and it's so long, and I like to walk and see the city, but in Paris it's always rainy, and it's not nice, and too many castings. But I guess casting is what gets you the job, but you don't gotta do it.
When, aged 15, Olga went to Milan, that was her entrance into the international world of style.
Как сначала вообще ориентировалась я плохо, там сначала вот так вот вышло, думаю, вообще. Вот, ну, выходила так, один раз я пошла в супермаркет, заблудилась там. Как сначала я спрашивала, на меня как бы не обращали внимания или думали, что я не понимаю вообще или что.
Up to her 15th year, Olga had never gone past the Ob, one of the largest rivers in Siberia. 100 years ago, the only possibility for building the Trans-Siberian Railway over the river was at this place. Subsequently, the city of Novosibirsk was founded, Olga's hometown. Olga lives here with her brother and her mother. Her mother works as a store manager in a small grocery store at the edge of the city. She's a single parent and is proud of her daughter.
Училась летом на речном вокзале. Встретила ее девушка, попросила фотографию снять ее. Приходит Оля такая радостная, думаю, мама, я фотомодель. Месяца через 2, значит, звонят, то есть Олины фотографии всем понравились, то есть она подходит. То есть я узнавала через все инстанции, там что за фирма, откуда она, как, со всеми друзьями разговаривала. Никто мне не говорил, чтобы я отпустила ее. Все были против. Я все-таки рискнула, решилась ради нее, я так считаю, потому что я поверила девчонкам, поверила фирме.
Olga doesn't cost her mother anything now, even if she still has debts, just like the other 19 girls who Eskimo has sent to the west. Although Novosibirsk is the economic center of Siberia, it does not offer many chances for an occupation. The search for girls by the agency in Tomsk has in the meantime reached out to 13 additional cities, awakening among ever more girls dreams and hopes of a better future, in which they might someday even be able to support their families. By now, the parents too have become convinced that their daughters will not end up in houses of prostitution, but will be well taken care of. Marina Vasilevna is an accountant in Novosibirsk. She's also a single parent, but more open towards the world, and she agreed without hesitation when her daughter Xenia was discovered.
Потому что мне всегда нравилась красивая фигура у девушки. Я обрадовалась, что у нее появился такой шанс приносить радость, удовольствие знакомым, близким, просто людям. Ксению Золушка – это другой, наверное, персонаж. Ксении больше, наверное, подойдет персонаж принцессы. Естественно, были переживания. Мы никогда так долго не разлучались, мы всегда ездили отдыхать вместе. Ксения уезжала в Москву одна. Я тоже очень сильно переживала, потому что длительный срок, очень далеко, другая страна, но, наверное, вот встреча с прекрасным, с чудом, с Парижем, это мечта очень многих людей, поэтому это переиграло все. Я была уже спокойна, думаю, ребенок увидит Париж, это чудо, это прекрасно.
Back in Paris, Xenia gets the first pictures for her portfolio. Last year, Brazilian women were in. Now, Russians are in demand. Siberian girls whose faces have a different cut and different eyes.
It's an unusual green, almost like a khaki, but with lots of different red, almost like reds and browns through it for her eyes. I think that's very typical for the Russian girls. But with the hair colour, you never know. Sometimes it's really dark and sometimes it's quite fair, like she is. But they also have a very light, a light skin colour.
She's very quirky and very unique, which is really nice. So she should do really well here.
The thing I find strange about the Russian girls, it seems to be more than any others, is I always think of Russia as being so cold, and they always complain that they're cold. That's what I always ask them. Isn't it cold in Russia? It must be colder than here.
I feel that they want to work. I feel that there is an edge to some of them. I don't know what life's like there. We hear things, but we don't understand. They tell us certain things, but living in Paris, you feel isolated. In a way, Paris is hard, but it's fun. It's an easy city to live in. It's cheaper than London. It's cheaper than New York. But relative to living in Siberia and anywhere like that, we don't have a clue what their life's like. So we just have our preconceptions. We tell them what we want them to look like. And they're just a product. At the end of the day, they come down, they work, they go home. If they work well, they can come back. And most of them are really nice girls. Some of them have no business coming here. Some of them have every chance in the world to make a real success.
Not like that. Okay. Really strong, legs slightly apart.
Can we get yours?
Tell me what you're doing now. Just shoulders really direct at the camera, okay? Not too much you hit like that, just really strong, really direct.
Xenia spoke English well from the beginning, which helps her a great deal when working with Wayne Plant. The Australian is one of the few photographers who tries to teach the models as much as possible, explaining to them exactly what is expected of them and how they should do it. For beginners, that is a huge help and some important instruction.
Really strong.
And where should I look?
Straight at the camera.
Straight.
Chin up a little.
Mouth open.
Mouth open. And then relax. So this doesn't stick. Okay? Now relax it. Relax your mouth. Close your lips a little. Chin up a bit more. Push it forward. Really cool. Chin that way slowly. Round to me. Eyes to me. Chin that way. Chin down. Down, 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 down. Too far. Back up. Chin that way. Head over this way a bit more. And then eyes back to me. And give me some sort of attitude. Something that says that you're a bit pissed with me. That you don't like me. That you've had enough. And just some strength to it. Chin up. Background, straight, really strong, straight. Stare down the camera. Straight down. Keep still. Okay.
Is it caught on the yeah. Is it always caught like here?
Not always, but very, very often.
Okay, are you ready? Even Olga has to freeze again. She's achieved considerable success, figuratively speaking, because in the meantime she has been flown out of Novosibirsk to the most varied parts of the globe at the request of certain photographers. Shooting time in Iceland in front of a geyser. This occasion involves promoting Icelandic fashion and tourism. Olga will have to endure a few degrees below freezing. Before that she was in Brittany, and before that in the Maldives for the front page of Japanese Vogue. She does not behave like a star, and definitely does not want to become a star. The girls from Siberia respond differently from Western girls. They're more modest. Nevertheless, the unspoken dream remains of a global career. In London, just like Olga, Ira has once again managed to be booked for the annual fashion week. Ira has identified herself ever more firmly with her dream of becoming a star. While an appearance lasts around 15 minutes, the preparations for it last 3 hours. Ira rushes from show to show, often hardly having time to remove her makeup.
Но все равно мне нравится шоу, когда шоу вот эти идут, сама атмосфера это, все такие заводные, все такие немножко раздраженные. Конечно, это очень тяжелый бизнес. Тебе прежде чем заработать деньги, тебе нужно понравиться клиенту, это значит, тебе нужно сделать много кастингов, потом тебе нужно как-то получить работу, и потом, если только, может, через года, тогда да, начинаются и деньги, и слава, и все. А так, чтобы люди думают, вот, она русская, поехала моделью, значит, уже первый раз, если приезжает девушка, у нее денег полно, она там куры не клюет, но это не так. Это все не так. Просто в этом бизнесе нужна голова, нужно думать правильно. Все подсчитывать, чтобы тебе не надуло агентство, не обманывало с деньгами. И просто быть, как говорится, stronger. Вот.
She learned that here, at the edge of the city of Tomsk. The neighbours here have rather definite expectations of her.
Нам, это нравится. Желательно бы, конечно, чтобы девочка пошла бы, был у нее рост, у нее бы профессионально что-то было, чтобы она, не шла бы она в этих трущобах, она бы что-то получила бы, заработала. Хотела, чтобы Иринка жила лучше, намного лучше. Все, единственное. И помогла бы и родителям, и своей сестре. По крайней мере, в нашем доме, у родителей будущего нет. Но мы хотим, чтобы у этой девочки было будущее.
Да,
по крайней мере, вот до сих пор этого еще нет. Мы еще не ощущаем, не видим. Не видим по девочке. Хотя она так много трудится, она работает много. Чувствуется,
During all this, Ira is still completing her massive program in London. Until now, she's remained unable to send any money back home. Shows do not bring in much income, although they are good for one's image. Every little bit helps on account of her having gradually to pay off her debts to the agency. As soon as Fashion Week is over, Ira will fly to Paris for the next Fashion Week, and after that she's supposed to head for New York. If it keeps going this way, she'll soon be able to pay back all her debts. Not until then will she have her problems behind her. Marina, the youngest one, is piling up debts at the moment.
Сейчас, когда я приехала, я здесь уже почти 2 месяца, я живу здесь. Появилось очень много знакомых, девчонок, именно, которые тоже из России. И именно мы очень скучаем по России, мы так хотим домой, что именно вот сейчас, именно вдалеке вот это все понимаешь, что как они тебе дороги, как тебе дороги родители, как тебе дороги друзья, как тебе дорог твой город Томск. My name is Marina.
Yes.
I'm 16 years old. I'm from Russia. I'm staying here 2 months. May I see your profile? Yes, of course. 3/4.
The other side. 3/4. Look at me.
Seriously. Hungry?
Okay, hungry. And now big smile. Now you see you working. They don't speak very well English, and also they're very nice, but usually they're quite shy. They don't have enough confidence when they do a casting, but they're really cute. But they're very nature, usually, les filles de l'Est, Europe de l'Est. They're more nature, I think.
A little bit higher.
Именно сейчас уже понимаешь, что ты так этим жертвуешь, ты жертвуешь нормальной жизнью. Ты постоянно находишься в работе, ты устаешь. А работа модели – это не легкий труд, как казалось, сидишь перед фотокамерой. А там попросят сделать какую-нибудь позу и постой из ней, что у тебя там все конечности затекут. Когда тебя красят или делают прическу, там настолько устаешь, что просто сидишь, о боже мой, помоги мне это выдержать. Это да, это нравится, но в определенный момент. Именно то, что, а бывает, вот устал, и тебя еще и мучает, уже домой хочется, ты уже не можешь, тебе скучно.
Gradually, Marina's time in Paris is drawing to a close. In any case, she had 2 paid jobs and collected quite a number of new photos for her portfolio. The German photographer Torsten Oelscher is discussing these pictures with the designer Nikim.
That is your t-shirt as well, right?
The photographs are intended for advertisement stands in a Parisian fashion shop. In any case, Marina does not want to return until after graduation from secondary school. She could have remained, since she was successful with the photographers. Despite that, she's not capable of both at once, school and modelling. Olga is already back in Novosibirsk. Next week, her final examinations before graduation will begin. The last day of school is being celebrated today. During the past school year, she was almost entirely abroad, but still completed her studies brilliantly. Olga has a very successful year behind her. Nonetheless, the relationship that many of her school comrades have with her has recently changed sharply.
Мечтали быть моделями? Нет.
Нет.
Потому что мы знаем, через что им приходится проходить.
Через что им приходится проходить?
Ну так,
Через
режим жесткий.
Очень жестко.
У нас свои слухи ходят насчет этого.
Так что нас не привлекает шоу-бизнес такой.
Конечно, другим очень изменилось, она в лучшую сторону вообще стала прекрасной. Причем тут я сразу и характер, и внешность. Интеллект у нее повысился очень после того, как она стала ездить.
Девочки, наверное, завидуют ей с какой-то стороны, то есть смотрят на нее, пример какой-то с нее берут, интересуются. Ну и для себя какие-то делают определенные, наверное, выводы. И каждая, наверное, тоже захотела быть моделью. Да, надолго выезжает, возникает проблема. Но у нас это было в первый раз, как мы пошли навстречу, конечно, Оле, потому что понимаем, что в жизни все случается, может быть, это ее вообще самое главное в ее жизни будет. И перевели ее на экстернат, то есть она приезжала, сдавала зачеты, экзамены. Когда она уезжала во время поездок, она сама самостоятельно занималась. Девочка она умная, способная, и поэтому все ей легко удается. Но, естественно, конечно, мы как можем, так и помогаем.
Olga's grandmother lives 150 kilometers up the Ob River. Every year since her childhood, Olga has spent her summer holidays here. It's her favorite spot. Olga's grandmother prepares the ground and plants potatoes, raises vegetables and cultivates spices so that all the relatives in Novosibirsk can get through the long winter. The family stays together. In this way, people in this country have always managed through hard times. Since Olga's father died in an accident at work, the grandmother's crop has become even more important for the family. It will take Olga a while yet before she can contribute anything to the family income, if ever. Because of her height, she has already entered a critical zone. There are certain sizes in the modelling business that no one is allowed to exceed. While the plants may and ought to grow, Olga should not, since for her, 1.84 would spell the end of a modelling career.
Вот мы сначала боялись, отговаривали ее. Ну, что это далеко, за границу, и надо учиться ей. Вот. А потом Оля настояла все-таки, это она еще училась в 10 классе. Мы приехали с бабой Аней, она плачет, что мама тоже не соглашается. Она плачет. Ну и все-таки у меня такая возможность, а вы мне не даете. Ну вот, пока ничего, пока хорошо. Как она мне мало рассказывала, в прошлый год из Италии приехала. Ну я говорю, ну ты мне, Оля, рассказывай, баба, ну ты задавай вопросы, я буду рассказывать. Ну и так что она и мало рассказывала, я еще и понятия не имею. Тогда в то время, в наше время, мы не слышали и не знали. Нет. Может, это, я не знаю. не знали об этой специальности.
А баба, ты все равно ничего не понимаешь. Что тебе рассказывать?
Только 11 класс закончить, а мы боялись тоже. Надо же 11 класс закончить. Да. Оль, ты письмо получила мое?
Откуда? Куда
Ну,
ты
придет письмо.
А ты получила наше?
Получила. Оля, институт у нас есть в Новосибирске. Ты, наверное, про него не знаешь, филиал.
Баб, да потом расскажешь.
Да потом ты уедешь, ну ты в письме прочитаешь. То она хочет в Томский университет.
Угу.
А это же удобно здесь учиться. Леша, молоко принес? Принес? Где лучше, здесь или в Париже?
Здесь.
Почему?
Потому что здесь дома.
Thank you.